I recently watched all of the What If episodes, and they all sucked! I just have one question, people. What if the What If intro was actually honest? Dull. Boring. Disappointing. These are just some of the feelings you'll have when watching this show. You may be asking, what is What If? Well, it's a show where the main MCU timeline has some sort of a twist and turn that creates a different reality, an inferior, less exciting, and more disappointing reality. I am Topsu. I'll be your guide through this series' infinite problems. Follow me and ponder these questions. What if this show was something people cared about? What if this show was actually good? What if Kevin Feige actually cared about something other than renovating the northwest wing kitchen of his 7th mansion? What if? Okay, in all seriousness, not every episode made me want to gouge my eyes out. It wasn't all horrible, but boy am I glad I don't have to binge this anymore. Oh, also, spoilers if you even care. You know what would have made this show better? If Marvel had had the balls to take some risks with this. They definitely played it safe with most of the episodes, and you can see that with episodes like, oh, what if Happy Hogan saved a Christmas party or whatever? And what if Shang-Chi and Haley Steinfeld were in the Wild West having a boring adventure? And what if Captain Carter held her shield on the left arm instead of her right arm? Like, come on, Marvel, just get to the good stuff and stop with the lame episodes. There was definitely missed potential with this series. I could just tell when I started a new season of this, and then I immediately started waiting for the big build-up because that's literally the only thing that was exciting about the whole show. And the big build-up finales weren't that great either. I honestly think the first season finale was the best compared to season 2 and season 3, but what I really wanted was for this show to go completely bananas. Couldn't they just have had an episode where Peggy is a super soldier, but then bananas start raining down and they come alive and conquer the earth and Peggy is the only one who can stop them? And the episode would be called What If Bananas? There's just too many of them. This is completely bananas. Hey, only we can use that expression. Attack! I could intervene, but I will not. Alright, maybe it doesn't have to be that crazy, but I would most likely watch a banana invasion over Nebula being in Nova Corps. So here's basically the What If formula. The season starts and we get 5 to 6 lame episodes with a few cool moments here and there. And then we get to the good part at the end of the season where the entire multiverse is at stake. Instead of the slow build-up episodes, we could have explored something completely crazy. Like what if a giant slug just comes to Earth and everybody's like, yuck, look at all this slime everywhere from this giant slug. Please help us, Mega Hulk. And those season finales could have been more exciting too. There were some good moments, but then it ultimately just comes down to punching the villain in the face, and the season's over. One thing's for sure though, Marvel still doesn't know how to utilize the Infinity Stones. Guess what? We got Infinity Ultron. How exciting! Finally someone who's smart enough to use the Infinity Stones to their full potential. I can finally be satisfied. Except not! He was dumb as fuck. He didn't even use the stone properly, and once again I was disappointed in the utilization of the stones. In the last episode of season 1, Infinity Ultron says, I can destroy galaxies with a thought. Why won't you die? Well, how about you have that thought then, Ultron? Use the stones. Use them to kill them. Why can't he use the Reality Stone to remove magic from the universe and then Doctor Strange will be completely useless? Or he could just crash another planet to wherever they're fighting in that scene. Or bloody turn everyone into slugs. In the same episode, Killmonger gets the stones for his Wakandan armor. He's supposed to be even bigger threat than Ultron, but in the final episode of season 2, that's hardly the case since Kahore just teleports him out of the armor so that Peggy can get the stones, and it was like a piece of cake.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
And you might be thinking, oh, Peggy with the stones, now we're talking. And even I was hopeful because I thought Peggy would be kinda smart to use the stones properly. But it was mostly just laser beams shot at each other again. Oh Marvel, will you ever learn? Didn't you watch my stop using lasers in fight scenes video? I specifically said be more imaginative, but all we mostly see is Peggy, Kahori and Doctor Strange shoot lasers at each other. Yeah, she used the time stone and reality stones once or twice, but only to slow time and multiply herself. She didn't even try to turn Doctor Strange into a slug. So Peggy and Infinity Ultron are not getting any props from me, even though they accomplished way more than Thanos did in Infinity War. And speaking of Thanos, they made him a complete fool in the show. It's like Marvel had this super popular franchise going with phase 1, 2 and 3, where the big bad baddie was Thanos, and then came Phase 4, and he's just a comic relief now. To me, it almost ruins the character completely, because in these alternate realities, he's just made to look like a wuss, or only there to provide a cheap joke about genocide or whatever. And it's not just What If that did this. In Loki, they also used the Infinity Stones as paperweights, decorative rocks, and doorstops and whatnot. So even their rarity and meaningfulness was just completely thrown out the window in Phase 4. And I don't like that.
I don't like it.
Then we have the Watcher, the narrator, the creepy guy who stalks different universes 24/7. So he can see a universe where Thor is always on the toilet, and one where Hulk's pants always rip, and the one where Peggy goes to the pharmacy to get a morning after pill after spending a night with Steve, which he also watched very closely, I bet.
Finally.
Oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. Look, guys, what is the deal with the Watcher? He's so inconsistent with his logic when he wants to intervene and when he doesn't. We sort of get into his motivations a little bit at the end of the series, but it's kind of never explained when he wants to help someone and when he doesn't. In a few episodes, he does intervene and give a little push here and there, but then why doesn't he do that all the time when someone is in trouble? Is he just playing favorites? Is he watching a school bus full of kids in flames driving off a cliff and then he's like, I could intervene, but I won't. Oh, what's that? Peggy Carter is having trouble opening a pickle jar in an alternate reality. I better go give her a hand. I liked that we got to see how powerful these fifth-dimensional beings are, although that also ended up being a disappointing showcase by the end, and I'll get into that when I'm talking about the episode. And speaking of the episodes, what a roller coaster! It's always a bit of a gamble whether we get something truly amazing in this show, or do we just get a reality where it's like, what if water wasn't wet? There are some episodes, especially looking at the second episode of the first season, where T'Challa is Star-Lord. The pacing seems so quick and rushed that I felt like I was having a fever dream when watching it. No one reacts or pauses to anybody's lines, and it's just line after line after line without any reactions. I don't know, I did not like that episode, although it was nice for them to dedicate it to Chadwick Boseman. But it was another episode where Thanos was being ridiculed and made fun of, so that just further made me want to cancel my Disney Plus subscription and throw my TV out the window. But then I was like, what if I didn't do that? And here we are, making this video. This reality. Now, I did not know this, but apparently the animation in this has been divisive. I think, and what I say usually goes, that the animation looks fine when it's an action sequence and all the fighting looks good to me, but it's the characters and the faces that seem very ugly to me. I much prefer the X-Men 97 animation style to this one. If they had better character designs, I wouldn't have minded the animation style at all. But that's just my opinion. You can tell me I'm wrong and that I should shut up in the comments after you like this video, of course. I'm not going to reply to you if you don't like the video. What do you think this is? An alternate reality where you can just watch a video without liking it? Don't be ridiculous. To add to all these problems so far, I noticed there's just a general lack of interest in the show. I asked people on a poll what they thought of this show, and a majority said they're either indifferent about it or they hate the show as much as Anakin hates sand. This show started when the most popular MCU phases had already finished, and there was a sense of conclusion to those three phases. Exploring mundane alternate stories about the characters we knew from the main MCU timeline might seem kind of meaningless to a lot of people, because to be honest, none of the alternate realities have any effect on the main reality. Or it could, but they wouldn't do that in an animated show. And so, it would be more fun to explore those realities if they were actually super crazy and something that is completely out of this world. Kinda like the zombie episode, but better. But instead we get lame episodes equivalent to what if the Avengers ate pizza instead of shawarma in the post-credit scene of the Avengers.
Pizza time.
I was gonna do a ranking of the episodes, but then I was like, what if I didn't? And now we're in this reality where I didn't do that. Except I did do that, and the ranking order is in the description of the video if you're interested. But these are some of the worst episodes which I consider to be D or F tier episodes. The episodes that make me say, ugh, don't make me watch this again. What if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? Boring. Don't want to see that again. Next, what if the Red Guardians stopped the Winter Soldier? Clearly this one was to create some initial hype for the upcoming Thunderbolts movie, but you know what, Marvel? Consider me unhyped. I might be in the minority here, but the Red Guardian character is obnoxious, and I don't like him. He's just not funny, and I really hope they give him some better material in future movies. What if 1872? Yeah, what if 1872? That literally happened. It's in the history books.
Boring.
Yeah, it was about Shang-Chi and Lady Hawkeye being in the Wild West, but does anyone care? No. Next one. What if Agent Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? I mean, come on, Marvel, just stop it. What if she fought the Hydra Stomper? What if she put on shoes on the 18th of March? What if she ate oatmeal for breakfast next week? No one bloody cares. So anyway, let's move on. There's the mid-tier episodes, which had some good stuff in them, but nothing super memorable. The finale episodes I sort of talked about already, but I definitely preferred the season 1 finale to the season 2. Season 3 goes more meta with the Watchers and we see them fighting, but while I enjoyed their fighting, it ended up being a punching fest once again, and I'm kinda tired of the incessant punching. There were some diamonds in the rough. Again, this is just my opinion, but I loved the Kahori episode. It gave me Avatar vibes, not the Airbender but the Blue Monkeys. It was beautifully made, and the other realm where Kahori got her powers was something exciting to explore. And I love the fact that they used the actual foreign languages with subtitles instead of speaking English but with stereotypical strong accents. Maybe I just like that it was different, but at least it was something more risky than something like, what if the Winter Soldier and Red Guardian were friends and they had a road trip?
Boring.
But one episode stood out the most, and I would give this maybe 9 out of 10. This was in the first season, and the way it made me feel was just something more than whatever the lame episodes made me feel. And you know what? When I watch stuff, I like to feel things and not be bored out of my mind. So anyway, it was the Doctor Strange episode where he tries to alter the universe so that Rachel McAdams doesn't die.
Evening, handsome.
I thought it was such a good episode. It had action, it had a lot of emotion, and it had a powerful ending too. I'm sure there was a good lesson in there somewhere, like don't try to go back in time to change things, or how about don't overtake 18-wheelers on a mountainous windy road or something. So, what if this show was good? What would it look like? Well, in my opinion, if they took more risks with the writing and the ideas they had for the episodes, and being more imaginative with the way they use magic and powers, then yeah, perhaps this would be a good series. Do you think less lame episodes about the Wild West and Hydra Stomper would have made this better? Guess we'll never know, because that's in an alternate reality that is way better than this one. I give What If a 5 out of 10. Like and subscribe for more. Bye bye now. Hey guys, I've got an idea for a What If episode. What if Black Widow never learned to fight? Oh, that's gonna be cool. How about also, what if Captain America's shield was made out of wood? Oh, hear this out. What if Iron Man's suit was wine red instead of red? Oh yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, that sounds good.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Come on everybody now. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Like and subscribe everybody.